Hey everyone, tired of spending hours fixing ChatGPT's replies just to make sure them sound like you? It does make sense to do it once, but if this done daily for a long time, it accumulates for a chunk of time that can be invested somewhere else. What if I told you there is a way to make ChatGPT write as if it's inside your head without all the tedious corrections? In this video, I'm going to reveal 3 powerful methods to transform ChatGPT into your personal writing assistant, whether you're drafting emails, creating content, or just trying to save time. And stick around, because not only will you learn how to pre-feed ChatGPT with your own data to replicate your style, but I will also show you how to fine-tune the model for truly next-level customization. Let's dive in. Alright, so we're gonna start testing different options and different ways of replicating GPT style, your style, and we're gonna be testing this with one single prompt. So this prompt is going to be write a professional email addressed to a client explaining the benefits of integrating AI into their business processes. So let's actually first see how GPT is gonna generate the email for me if I'm gonna just paste that prompt in without any additional detail about my writing style and how much I would need to correct afterwards for myself. As we can see there is a first line. I hope this email finds you well, which I completely hate. It's a total waste of time. Then it goes is why AI, 4 bullet points, actually 5 bullet points, tailored solutions for maximum impact. It has a lot of details provided in the email. I usually don't do this, so it's kind of sort of okay, but probably I will need to actually go a little bit deeper to correct that email. I actually see that here it found my company because it's saved in the custom instructions. But let's actually try to generate another email. But instead of just outputting the prompt itself, we're going to provide a reference email with my style of writing. So let's actually take a look at this prompt. So here we have write a professional email address, which is absolutely the same. But the second sentence is, for inspiration on my style of writing, use my other email below. So here I provide another email I sent some time ago on the cooperation. And let's actually see if ChatGPT can grab this style of writing of mine and create a better email. So again, it goes with, I hope this email finds you well, which I totally hate. I wanted to reach out, an exciting opportunity to enhance your business. It's split it by numbers, very long, signature. I wouldn't even say it has improved. It's still very, very bad. And you have to correct a lot of things. There's also you have to insert specific content, which is probably fine, but the general output is really not that good. If you provide your email to kind of grab the style of writing, that's kind of not good enough. Let's do another test. So let's provide that email that I had before, and let's ask it to grab a certain style of writing of mine. So for this one, I will have another prompt, which is going to be the following. Let's actually take a look. So first of all, it says, please read and comprehend my email. Your job is to fully understand the style of writing, including my tone, the tone of voice, language I use, punctuation, structure, argumentation, buzzwords, and more. Basically, you need to carefully analyze how I write and speak, etc., etc. Then I provide my email in. Then certainly I will actually see if ChatGPT can grab the style of my writing. If that's actually true, I don't know. So it says professional yet personable. The tone strikes a balance between formality and approachability. Enthusiastic, confident. There are some language characteristics, punctuation, structure, etc., etc. And then it provides certain guidelines about my style, right? What we can do next, we can actually keep communicating, and within this chat, ask it to generate an email for me. Let's actually try to do this, and we will write a professional email address to a client explaining the benefits of integrating AI into their business in my style of writing. Let's add this in the very bottom so that it kind of grabs information before. And again, it goes with, I hope this email finds you well. Very bad. Let's actually see. At its core, AI offers unparalleled ability to streamline workflows, optimize decision-making, and drive innovation. It provided 3 bullet points instead of 5. And I kind of probably like it more just because it doesn't go to a very long email, just key things, key insights, let's put that. So I like it. I definitely like the closing remarks. That's how I usually finish that. I don't go with company, mobile phone number, website, and many other things. So this is really short and to the point. Moreover, the AI evolves the ability to customize solution to fit your business unique needs to become remarkably accessible. With this in mind, I'd love to discuss how we can align integration with your business goals. Sort of okay. I mean, this one is already better. Yes, of course, we still got this opening line. We still got some general sentences, but we have a little bit more concise email. It kind of replicated a little bit more the language of mine. The closing line is like me. So if we ask ChatGPT to replicate the style of writing of ours, then we can keep communicating within this chat and actually get sort of more tailored responses into my writing style. But still, I would say this is not enough. Another thing what we can do is we can create a custom GPT. And in order to create a custom GPT, I've already spoken about this many times. But once again, we go to explore GPTs. Right, so once we're here, we click create, and here we can create our own custom GPT. I'm not gonna do this now. We're gonna see an example of pre-created GPT. Go to my GPTs, and here we have email assistant, the one that I have pre-created already. We'll actually see how that works. For this one, I have a specific prompt, a system prompt that will determine what is the role, what is the context, what is the task it needs to do. But more importantly here, I will provide it with 5 different examples of how I communicate. So one of them is going to be project planning email. The other one would be cooperation proposal. The third one, sample reply, complaint email, and a review email. So 5 different examples. Unfortunately, you have a limit for the custom instructions up to 8,000 symbols, and I can't insert more. If you want to upload documents, so if you upload documents, that's not really the way to actually retrieve the writing style. So it's better to actually provide the style of writing or the examples within the custom instructions here. And we're going to see how it's going to reply to my message if I'm going to ask the same thing. So here's another cool part. So first of all, if I ask generally write a professional email, it just goes the same way as it goes as before. YAI, same thing, pretty much very similar to what we already seen. It did 4 bullet points. It did a few examples, by the way. Okay, this is something new. Haven't seen this one. We've got our approach, next steps. Oh wow, quite detailed actually. Didn't expect this one. I don't remember I was providing examples like this. But what if we go and ask the same thing, but I will add at the very end of the prompt in my writing style, so that I wanted to actually read the kind of the knowledge and actually write, searching my knowledge, because just before it might be the case that large language model didn't actually read carefully all the instructions. It just went and generated an email because it was straightforward. Now I wanted to actually replicate my style of writing. Well, let's take a look if this actually differs, if this is any better. So again, this opening line, this is horrible and it's hard to get rid of it. You probably need to specifically prompt not to write this part, because I've never provided this in my email, never write it, and this is just a waste of time. So I like that it's really short opening. So generally the email is much shorter, and that's what I usually do. I don't like writing long emails if I write it myself, not with ChatGPT. So that will be like a short paragraph. There are, a few bullet points. Okay, 5. Okay, let's keep with 5. Again, if this aligns with your vision, I'll be happy to discuss. Looking forward to your thoughts. Best regards, Maxim. So pretty short. This is much more looking like I usually write. I'll probably don't go deep into the content, but just looking at the structure of the email, it looks like what my other emails are. So if you want to sort of create more customized or tailored to yourself emails, I suggest just the simplest way would be creating your GPT assistant and using with custom instructions like I did before, because kind of grabs the style of writing for you. So another cool option is the new release of Claude Styles, and this is totally new. It was released literally yesterday. So let's actually take a look at their blog post. So November 26th, they introduced Styles, and once I almost started recording this video when I saw the news about this one. So basically what it does, it allows you to kind of personalize chat. So you would basically do the same thing we did with Custom GPT, but instead of writing or putting those in the custom instruction, you would upload a document of your style of writing. So if we go to our Claude, here, for example, you can choose already pre-created writing styles for you: normal, concise, explanatory, formal, or I have another one, which is emails. So if we go there, we can create a custom style. Here we can upload a document or paste the plain text, and I'm just gonna paste my email that I used, and let's actually see if it can grab the style of writing of mine. So that was my last email that I used for a previous chat. And let's see if this one generates it better than any other. So let's rename it, and let's say email responder new. Okay, Let's see if it's any better. So here now we can select email responder new, and let's ask it to write a professional email addressed to a client explaining the benefits of their business process, of integrating AI into their business process. Okay, so, and again, it gets, I hope this email finds you well. And then it gets a few benefits, proposed approach, proof of concept. Oh my God, I would never write this long email. That's too much. Yeah, I don't know what to actually say. I would say that's too much. I did like the Custom GPT approach much more. This is too long. I'm definitely, if I receive this email, I'm not gonna read it. So I'm not sure if this kind of custom styles is really a good feature. You probably have to play with it. Haven't had enough time to actually play with it, but if it tries to replicate myself writing, something went wrong here. Well, my email, in fact, was a bit longer. That's true, but it wasn't kind of putting a lot of water there. And if I read it carefully, I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of water inside. That was another approach, actually, third approach. And the fourth approach, that we can do the fine-tuning of the model. And this will be a little bit harder in comparison to any other type of solution that we discussed before, but it can have its certain use cases. So let's actually take a look how that works. So if we go to openai.com/docs/guide/fine-tuning, and I'll leave that link below in the description, you can actually see how the model should be fine. So in order to do the model fine-tuning, first of all, we need to export our emails. And I will be showing how to do this for the Gmail account. So we need to go to Google Takeout. So Google takeout.google.com/settings/takeout, and I'll leave the link down in the description below. Here, you will need to deselect all. Then you scroll down when you find mail. You click the mail because you want to export a mail. Here, you do not want to export all the data. You untick this one and you just deselect all, and you select only the emails that you were sending. The reason for this, because you don't want emails that you were receiving from somebody. You will not be replicating their style, you'll be replicating your own style. So make sure that all the emails sent are included. And then we click OK. Then we scroll down and then we click the next step. Once the next step is there, we click export once, select download via link, and we click download. And basically, you will receive an email, all of your sent emails in the mbox format. So this is how the data is going to look. If we click the email, we can download your files. So you go and click the download your files. It will ask you to sign in. Let me quickly do that. And here you click the download. So the download will start in a second. Right, so the files are already downloaded. Let's actually take a look. So this is how the files actually look. We've got the send mbox format file. So in order to use that file, first of all, we want to extract that file. Let me go with there. First of all, so let's extract that file. Right, so once we extracted the file, it will be saved down there. So then what we need to do is we need to track the clean bodies of the email. So the problem with those files is that those files include the subject, includes the from to field, includes the dates, includes if you have a single thread with 20 different messages, this will include all those messages. So what we want to achieve, we want to have just our own messages that were sent in a certain format, and we're going to be using comma separated CSV format for this. And in order to do that, we will need to use the certain code, and I will provide that code for you, and it will be linked down in the description under this video, so you can use it. In order to run the code, you need to download the VS Code, the Visual Studio Code. So you go to code.visualstudio.com and you just download it, and once it's downloaded, we go there and to our Visual Studio editor, and you will need to click create new file. So this will call Py. Py stands for Python. Okay, and we need to send it, save it. Let's save it there. There's another file. So here you will need to insert the code that I will provide you with. So here will be the code that you will need to take. It's going to be down in the description below. So what you need to do here, you will need to write your mbox file path. So you go to the folder where the file is located and you paste that folder in here. The only thing you need to insert the file name here. So if the file name is send mbox, and also you need to change the way the slashes actually work. It's actually when you just copy paste that's in the wrong direction. We have to adjust that. So then I'm gonna take the whole thing and I will put the output file path just in the same folder. Let's name it output.csv. By the way, it's very important that you place the dot and the format of the file here correctly, otherwise it's just not going to work. And here we need to put the email address and also make sure the email address is written correctly, because I actually tried it once and it wasn't working just because the email address was inserted with a mistake. So basically it will look that for the emails that were sent from my personal email address. Once this is done, we click run, and we wait until the model will actually create the file for us. All right, once this is done and we get the message here, we can go to the folder and we can find our file. So here we can see the output. Let's see how that works. All right, so we got the file, but the problem is that some of the messages, specifically here, that were generated in other languages, it didn't read the actual language. It was encoded. So that's why the next thing, what we're going to do, we're going to go to the Google Sheets. And first of all, we're going to open this file with Google Sheets, and then we're going to download this into Excel. That way it's going to work. So we go to open, upload, browse, take our output. So once the file is there, we go to File, Download, Microsoft Excel. We can theoretically do this in Google Sheets, but I just like Excel, and I have my plugin ChatGPT for Excel installed in Microsoft Excel. So that's why we go there, we close this. So here what we got the date, we got the subject, and we got the reply. For some, we're actually missing the subject, but that's totally fine. We actually don't need this, so we can delete these two columns. And here are all my emails that I've sent. So next, what we're gonna do is basically I need to define what language I'm speaking here, because I'm actually speaking 3 languages. It's Latvian, English, and Russian. So I might also write emails in different languages. I want to be training my model only on English messages. In order not to go through each and every email and define the language myself, I will use the ChatGPT for Excel plugin. So if you go to your Excel home tab, click add-ins, more add-ins, you will find the kind of app store for Excel plugins, and here you can write ChatGPT for Excel Word. And the first one for me, GPT for Excel Word, you would just add it, you click continue, and here such a thing is going to pop up. You can use a free trial for this plugin, and you will get some sort of money here. You can be using one of the provided models, and I suggest using the mini model, which is the cheapest for this purpose. I have provided an API key. You basically are paying for this thing. You're providing an API key, and I can select my own model through my own API key. So once you have that plugin, you can use some different new formulas there, such as GPT. And I will show you what kind of formulas we will be using here. So here, first of all, we need to classify in which language that message is. So I will provide a prompt, GPT, classify this email as the language it's written in, output only language name without any other. And I provide different examples. Here, I need to select not B2, but A2, and then I'm gonna check. So busy is sort of kind of a new error saying this is working. Once I clarify that's English, I go and just drag the formula down, and it's gonna calculate for the whole list what is the language of the email I've been communicating in. So as you can see, there are some emails in English and Russian and Latvian, etc., etc. Let's wait until that is calculated for all the emails. Meanwhile, I can create a filter and wait a couple minutes. Actually, it's less than a couple minutes, actually a few seconds. We can see, as you know, when there is like a green dot, it means it's just working on the file. For the other ones, it thinks it's already written. So here, now we have all the emails with a certain tag. What I need to do here for sure is paste it as values, because otherwise it's going to recalculate after each iteration. What is important here is, first of all, I can see that here it chose in different languages, like for example, Catalan or Ciao. This is kind of a Latvian language, but it's kind of slangish side of stuff. Emoji, for example, right? So I send an emoji for somebody, but that's okay. So I'm really interested only in English, so I'm gonna just delete everything else, leave to work with English. And what is also important, I will need to delete all the emails that are sort of irrelevant. Like for example, some emails I was replying okay. So if my model is gonna read through these examples, it's definitely gonna be misled. I want to go and manually delete those chunky emails that I don't want to be used for my training data. Right, so once you have cleaned the emails, the next trick that I'm gonna do is the following. So for the model fine-tuning, you will need to actually provide ChatGPT with 3 different inputs. So first of all is the system prompt that is gonna go. I will have the same prompt for all of the cases. The second is the user prompt. So I'm as a user coming and asking something, and the second, how I expect the assistant to reply. So I need to provide 3 inputs. Here what I have the assistant sort of input sample. So my emails will act as assistant sample, because this is how I want my assistant to reply. So what I'm lacking is user prompt and system prompt. So for system prompt, I'm going to be using one prompt for everyone. Let me go to my ChatGPT where I have created writing style analysis. Let me actually take this one and I can go to a new chat and ask summarize in a more concise way. Okay, and I want it to be a little bit shorter just to make sure that's easier to read and takes less tokens for training, because that will be the system prompt for each model. So we have something like this. So I can take this one. Let's write summarize in a more concise way as a prompt for AI. So analyze. We don't need to analyze, but let's rewrite it ourselves. So here you are a helpful assistant that writes professional yet personable content. It should balance formality and approachability, convey enthusiasm and confidence, focus on collaboration, use precise, persuasive language, emoji, clean punctuation, employee clean punctuation, etc., start with context, etc. Sounds like it is okay. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna paste that in for each and every email that we have. So that will be our system prompt. The only thing we're lacking is the user prompt, and how we're gonna get the user prompt is the following. Here with GPT function, I will ask ChatGPT to create a user prompt for each email. So let me insert the prompt for you. So the prompt is going to look like this. Generate a prompt for an AI assistant to generate such an email. Do not output any other text, just the prompt. And it's not C2, but it's actually A2 where we have our email. So we need the prompt for the email, okay? And generate an email summarizing the key points, blah, blah, blah. Sounds okay. So let's go and replicate this for all the emails that we've got. So that way we'll have three inputs. We'll have system prompt, user prompt, and desired answer from our AI assistant. Let's actually wait until it's finished. Seems like it is done. Of course, we want to copy paste that as values. And now we actually don't need the language anymore. And this is going to be our the first is going to be our system prompt, user prompt, and assistant response. Okay, so now we've got the file to work with. So then we go and save this file, and then we will use another converter. So the format in which we need to train the model is called JSON lines. It's basically when we have sort of a kind of a JSON file, but each line that you will have will be a certain JSON object. And for this one, we're going to use an online converter. So here we need to choose our file. So we go and choose our file. We close the file because we can't insert the file if it's in use. Choose the file, and then the JSON-L is ready for training. So now if we're gonna open the JSON-L, let's use our Visual Studio Code, and if you installed it, it should be there. Kind of pre-created the file for us. So we've got the system prompt. There's looks like something wrong with the first line. So we probably want to delete the first line because it doesn't look correct. But here we've got the messages system. There is some sort of content, the prompt that we provided. Then we have user content, and then we got the assistant content somewhere. So looks like a valid JSON lines file. And here we have another validator actually to make sure the file is okay. So I'll leave a link to this validator as well. Here we click validate and it says valid JSON file. So should be fine to be working with. So now we can start our model fine-tuning finally. And this is actually the case because the more time it takes to actually prepare the data than it takes to actually fine-tune the model. We need to go to playground.platform.openai.com. Here you'll have playground, dashboard, and docs. You go to dashboard, and here you will see fine-tuning. So you click create. Here you would need to select the model, and I suggest using 4.0 mini model because it's much cheaper. You would need to select the newest file that we have pre-created and writing assistant. Let's name it writing assistant or something like that. We don't need to use let's leave all those things to automatic, and we hit create. So basically what's going to happen now is it's going to use our data to train custom GPT model, in our case 4.0 mini. And first of all, it's going to validate if the file is okay. It should be fine because we used already another validator, and I do suggest using the validator. The link will also be in the description because I previously, as you can see here, I had a few examples where I failed, and the reason was there was somewhere in the emails there was like a new line added or something like this, and whenever you look at it you don't see it, but when you use the validator it actually shows there is a mistake. So I really suggest using the validator before uploading the file for fine-tuning. And here it says the files are validated, fine-tuning job started. So let's actually leave this for a while for training, and I'll get back when the training is done. Alright, the training has successfully finished, and now we can actually test how this model is gonna work. So in order to test this, we need to go to Playground, and here we need to go scroll down to find our model. So our model name was Writing Assistant, and here it shows different steps. So we want to make sure we have the last step selected, so the full model. It actually, if you use it through the Playground, some of the users mentioned that you have to insert the system message. In order to choose that, we need to return back to our file. Let's take the system settings. Okay, that will be our system settings. Then we're gonna paste that system settings in. Then we're gonna paste our prompt. So emulating high gazelle, integrating AI to business processes can drastically improve efficiency. We've got 5 points. If this is something you would like to explore further, let me know and I can schedule a call to discuss the kind regards webinar. Well, what I can say, it got a little bit shorter, even more shorter, got some key points here, pretty short. Doesn't actually have a lot of call to action here. But Gunnar, here, this is really funny. And this is because we didn't have enough data, and also here saying a male 80. So if we're doing fine tuning, they ask for the fine tuning for at least 10 examples, but in fact, it is the more the better. Recommend starting on the 50 and improving. So in my case, I had 160, but I definitely see there is like a huge room for improvement. And the biggest problem was the fine tuning here, because we should cover as many asks as possible. So essentially, if such a prompt would have been in the training phase, then it will provide with the perfect response. It actually wasn't there. That specific prompt wasn't in there, and that's why it needed kind of create based on the style. And well, as you can see, how it created it, whether it's a good or bad response, I wouldn't say it's actually much better than Custom GPT, but probably if we had sort of similar emails, because I've literally taken my inbox that I had and thrown it at the model to fine tune. The correct way would be, finding, for example, similar type of emails, and then you would have like a fine-tuned model for a specific use case. You wouldn't want this model to actually operate, fine-tuned model to operate as like a general model for all of the use cases. There should be like a really simple use case. And for example, if you would just, send out cooperation proposal, or just, doing the project status update, there is a certain format how you do that. So in that case, this type of fine-tuning would be worth doing. If I try to just put the whole thing and try the model to train on my data to talk in my voice, it just got off. There is not so many examples. It's just 166 examples, and those emails are different. If at least emails would be the same, that would be fine. But as the emails, there are shorter ones, there are longer ones, there are promo emails, there are, some cooperation proposals, there are just simply replies. And that's just not enough for the model to grasp. And that's why you get something like email 18. And I'm actually struggling to understand, because we didn't have this number in data, and I'm not sure why we got something like that. So to quickly recap, today you learned how to train ChatGPT to write just like you. Whether it's feeding it sample messages, teaching it your tone and style, or even fine-tuning it with custom data for next-level results. These strategies can save you time and make ChatGPT an invaluable tool in your daily workflow. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more tips and tricks to get the most out of AI tools. And don't forget to turn on notification bell so you don't miss on future videos. And also, if you want to create an assistant for your company but do not know where to start, reach out to my company flowby.ai and we will help you become the AI first driven corporation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.